Here's what's coming up on Beacon Retirement Strategies.
The majority of financial advisors, if you go into their office and you have a sum of money to invest, they're going to give you a diversified portfolio, and there's nothing wrong with that. But that is just a small step in really having a full service plan.
I mean, when there's various age differences, there's health, maybe there was different working credits between the husband and the wife and how much they're actually going to get. Perhaps there's ways that whoever was the lesser of the earners could maybe maximize their income by drawing off their spouse.
But assumptions can get you in trouble in retirement, and so if that's not being modeled, if you don't have a written plan for your income, how your investments are going to produce your income, that's one of the pillars that we have as a firm, is our clients are going to have a written income plan.
And now the hosts of Beacon Retirement Strategies, Pete Benson and John Maxson.
Guys, we got a great show planned up for this week.
We do. There's 30 minutes of power-packed information just for you.
So don't go anywhere. The show starts right now.
Hi, and welcome to this week's Roundtable. Guys, got a great topic today. John, I'm going to begin with you. Comprehensive wealth analysis. What is it?
Yeah, well, it's actually a really important aspect to understand, in particular as you get into retirement. It's beyond what the majority of financial advisors do. The majority of financial advisors, if you go into their office and you have a sum of money to invest, they're going to give you a diversified portfolio, and there's nothing wrong with that. But that is just a small step in really having a full service plan. What we want to do is really understand what you have in your current portfolio, what your yield is. In other words, what yield is if the market doesn't go anywhere, if it doesn't go up, doesn't go down, how much income is your portfolio going to produce? How much are you paying in fees? What are the tax ramifications of the current positions you have? And once we understand that from a research standpoint, then we're just getting started. That tells us what you have that you need to keep and what may need to change. And so let's assume that there are some changes that need to be made because your portfolio doesn't really line up with who you are as an investor. Well, then we're going to go through what we call a pillars process, where we're going to have written plans. We're going to try to take the guesswork out of your retirement plan as much as possible. If you don't have a written plan, you can't really do that. So we're going to have a written plan for your investments. We're going to have a written plan for inflation. We're going to have a written plan for income. We're going to have a written tax plan. We're going to have a written healthcare plan, and then we're going to have a written estate plan. So it doesn't happen overnight, but every one of those components is critical to really having a full plan.
So one of the things I love about this, because we've talked about it on a lot of shows, is the custom-built aspect of this. This is not a cookie cutter. This is not a template that we try to put a square peg in a round hole, Pete. We do a lot of critical analysis of folks when they come in, so you can put something together that works for them. So this isn't, remember those commercials where you had that big number over their heads? Right. They're all walking through the park with these big numbers. This is nothing like that. This is taking what you have, because, and forgive me, I know sometimes it's less about the amount you have and more about how you have it positioned for income, correct?
Yeah, and the financial x-ray will tell you where the weaknesses are, where the strengths are, and what things need to be improved as far as your financial plan and your financial house. And so that analysis is very, very important, because to John's point, it tells the things that are winning and the things that are maybe lagging behind that you need to shore up. Sometimes with folks, it's everything needs to be improved. With others, it's one or two things, but the fact that we look at it all, the income, the investments, the tax, the Social Security, health care, estate planning, and all that, when people have a really good, solid plan for every one of those elements, they feel really good that they're prepared for any storm that might come their way in retirement. But it only takes one or two of those not having a good, solid plan to bring the whole house of cards down.
So, John, let me wrap up with this. We got about a minute left here. Do I need to have $10 million to do a comprehensive wealth analysis? I mean, this sounds like a very lofty sort of proposition. What kind of assets do I need to have to work this? Because I know there's some people at home who are saying, oh, they only work with this and that, and I probably don't qualify for that.
Yeah, No, you've got to have some assets. Usually we tell people if you have $200,000, that's enough to have one of these plans. And we work with people across all economic backgrounds. Folks that have more money than they could ever possibly spend and have sold corporations, have been very successful entrepreneurs or business executives, VPs of companies, and then down to just everyday common folks like my folks. I grew up on a dairy farm, so my parents don't have millions of dollars, and I manage their money, or I guess we manage their money. And so the point is, you don't have to have millions of dollars to have a good plan, and regardless of where you're at, you need to have a good plan.
And Mark, if I can say this, a lot of times the people who have less, it's more important they have a really good plan. And we love to be able to help those people. But again, it's folks, no matter how much money, but a couple $100,000, at least there's enough to be able to do some analysis with. But beyond that, it's just whatever help we can be to them.
Pete, John, thanks so much. Great topic today. If you want more information, hey, give us a call in the office or go to our website. And don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
You're watching Beacon Retirement Strategies, Nashville's retirement television.
John, one of the things I love hearing around our office from clients is that they love the full service, comprehensive approach that we have.
Well, it's been a game changer for our clients and for prospective clients, because they can come to one place and meet with all these guys.
Yeah, I've found that clients find a lot of value in the estate planning area, having the opportunity to meet with a tax professional or a financial professional all in the same room most of the time. It allows us to set up a more thorough plan for them.
And they have a lot of questions about health care and that too, Dan.
Now that we have Frankie in the office doing health care, he can do Medicare, he can do standalone plans if you want to retire before the age of 65. That's complicated.
Yep.
There's some great plans out there. A lot of people don't know there are because it's too complicated. Now we have one person in-house that can really research all of those, who's fully independent.
The number one thing I'm asked when people come in is, what is a tax-efficient planning strategy? And what I talk to them about is, how do you get some tax-free assets, whether it's Roth conversions, Roth IRAs, other ways of getting tax-free assets. What we're trying to do is make sure that people are able to keep more of their hard-earned money.
How would you like the opportunity of being able to sit around a table in one office and be able to have help all in a good comprehensive plan for taxes, health care, income, estate planning, investments, and all of that? Well, guess what? You can at Beacon Capital Management. Give us a call. We'd love to be able to meet you and help you in any way that we could. 615-436-6000. Give us a call. All of us would love the opportunity to be able to help you and your family.
It's your retirement. How will you live it? How will you be remembered?
Will you be able to send me an invitation? Will you be there for my ball games? Will you teach me your values? You'll be able to play with me. Oh, help me go to college. How will I remember you?
You're watching Beacon Retirement Strategies, Nashville's retirement television.
Hi, and welcome to this week's AskBeaconNow.com, where you email your questions into us. We answer them right here on the show. Pete, my first question is from Jordan in Spring Hill, and he writes, I'm 64 and my wife is 61, and I'm considering taking my Social Security. Is that a good idea? How would I know when is a good time?
Well, that's a great question that Jordan shoots to us, and quite often we get that several times a week from people wondering when is the best time to take Social Security. And there's no pat answer for any one person. It's something that you need to put a lot of time into and be willing to take the time to meet with someone that will give you the different options. I mean, when there's various age differences, there's health, maybe there was different working credits between the husband and the wife and how much they're actually going to get. Perhaps there's ways that whoever was the lesser of the earners could maybe maximize their income by drawing off their spouse. So there's just a lot of different ways that to take that, to maximize it. And so whether it's good right now or waiting a little bit, that's something these people and all the listeners need to really take the time to get the information from someone who does this all the time, gives them various options.
Thanks for that question, Jordan. My next one is Geraldine from Smyrna, and she writes, Pete, is there really a way to have a tax-free retirement, or is that just a gimmick?
Ooh, that's a big question. Short question, but
Right to
that's
the
a
point.
biggie, Geraldine. So yes, there are ways to have a tax-free retirement. When I say tax-free, it's not that easy to have 100% tax-free in every certain way, but you can become more tax efficient and have more tax-free income than you have right now. So there are strategies. You can convert IRAs or 401ks, maybe a piece at a time, so much a year, and it really needs to be done through a good planner who is able to show you what kind of taxes you would have to pay on that money. You owe them sooner or later anyway, but making that money more tax efficient at a lower tax rate so that you enjoy the tax benefits when rates go back up. So, and then there's certain kinds of life insurance even that you can dump money into, build it up, pull it out tax-free if you do it right, that can be really efficient for people too. So there's certainly some options. Get educated, get the information, find out what the options are, and don't take no for an answer.
Quick piggyback question on top of that. Why don't all financial advisors let you know of the potential for tax-free income in retirement?
Well, they really need to have a tax planner inside their office because, though we know and can help and point them to certain directions and certain things that they may want to do, having somebody that's a CPA and a tax planner right there in the office, just like 12 or 15 feet from my office, really makes it good because we can collaborate together and he's the expert, give his expertise, mine together for the client, and then it can work out really well. So a lot of people would love to be able to do that. They just don't have the team members to be able to pull it all off.
Thanks, Pete. And I want to thank Jordan and Geraldine for those wonderful questions. Hey, if you'd like to have your questions answered here on the show, it's really easy. Just go to askbeaconnow.com, send that question into us, and we might answer it right here on the show. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
For your tax tip this week, I want to share some tax facts with you. Some interesting facts that impact taxes you pay now and will pay in the future. The federal government's outstanding public debt has surpassed $23 trillion for the first time in history. The deficit for 2019 came in at just under $1 trillion and is only expected to grow. 76% of every tax dollar raised is already spent every year on Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, and interest on the national debt. Studies are estimating that the tax gap, the difference between the amount due to the IRS each year and the amount collected, grew to just under $400 billion in 2013 and is expected to continue to grow significantly over the next 10 years. Why are all these depressing facts so important? They all drive what you are currently paying in taxes and what you'll pay in the future. There's no better time than the present to work with your financial advisor and CPA on tax-efficient strategies to take advantage of these low rates. That's your tax tip of the week.
You're watching Beacon Retirement Strategies, Nashville's retirement television.
Having no clear retirement plan is a mistake I see a lot in my financial planning office when I meet with someone new. It is extremely rare that someone comes in and has a clearly defined income plan for his or her retirement. One way you'll be able to get a clearly defined retirement income plan is to talk to an independent advisor who specializes in retirement planning. Not someone who is specialized in getting you to retirement, but someone who is dedicated to getting you through retirement. If you don't have a clear retirement plan, then be one of the first 5 callers and you'll receive a free complete planning review. There's no obligation and no cost if you have at least $200,000 saved for retirement. Here's what you'll receive: a free report to sort through your current fees, a tailored plan to help protect your investments, a tax analysis to reduce your tax liability and increase cash flow to you and your family, and a custom income plan to support your lifestyle. So call now for your free, no obligation Beacon Retirement Blueprint.
Hi, I'm Pete Benson, and I would like to share a complimentary copy of our new book called Succeeding with Money, A Financial Plan for Life. This book is available on Amazon, but if you'd like a free copy and you've saved a minimum of $200,000 for retirement, then be one of the first 5 callers right now to call in and schedule a complimentary consultation. You'll receive a free signed first edition of our new book, Succeeding with Money, A Financial Plan for Life. These books will go quickly, so call us right now. I look forward to seeing you in the office, and remember this, peace of mind in retirement requires a plan.
You're watching Beacon Retirement Strategies, Nashville's retirement television.
Hi, and welcome to this week's Retirement True or False, where you email your questions into us and we answer them right here on the show. Pete, my first question is for you. Fixed indexed annuities and variable annuities are very different products. True or false?
True. They are very different products. One is a security and one is not. One is a fixed product. There is a vast difference between the two. They both have the same name, annuity, but the type of annuity they are, there's a lot of difference. A variable annuity, think of the word variable. It can vary. It goes up and down. You can lose money. When the market goes down, because they tend to have very high fees, not all the time, but most of the time, those losses are even more extreme because you have those fees on the downside too, and you can lose money. A lot of people are looking for an annuity for guarantees, and they don't want to lose money. That's a fixed annuity or a fixed indexed annuity. Your principal is protected. You may not make huge gains in the good years, but when you do make gains, 3%, 5%, you get to keep them. Unlike a variable, you can lose them.
John, it would seem to me like this is a little bit confusing to the consumer. How often do you see somebody come in and they think they have one, but they actually have the other?
All the time. In fact, by far, variable annuities are sold more than a fixed or a fixed index, or what we would call an immediate annuity. And so it's typically the most complex because they can have a lot of riders and some of the fees that Pete talked about. Again, not all of them, but some of them that we've seen have upwards of 3 to 3.5%, sometimes even close to 4% in overall fee structure. And to Pete's point, if the market corrects, say 20%, you don't get fees waived in the down years, so it adds to your loss. And it also takes away from your gain in the up years. And so it can become a double-edged sword. Fees really matter. And in our opinion, if you're going to do an annuity, we're more prone to do the fixed annuities because they're lower cost structure.
And if you're unsure, you need an annuity review.
Right.
You need to know because, again, to John's point, most people come in, they don't know what they really have, and they can be complex. So getting somebody who understands the various kinds and do a review to really let you know doesn't mean you need to change it, but you need to know what you have.
And we like to sleep well at night, knowing what we have in our retirement is right for us. John, my next question is for you, and it is, a written comprehensive retirement income plan, say that 5 times fast, is the most important aspect of planning to provide for your financial security.
Yeah, well, that's absolutely true. The problem is most people don't have a written plan. In fact, I had a couple that came to see me just a week or so ago, and they came in and they wanted to take $50,000 of income out from their portfolio. And I said, well, how comfortable are you doing that? And their comment was, well, our current advisor told us that we can, so we assume that that's okay. But assumptions can get you in trouble in retirement. And so if that's not being modeled, if you don't have a written plan for your income, how your investments are going to produce your income, and that's one of the pillars that we have as a firm, is our clients are going to have a written income plan. And there's going to be a couple of key components to that. That income plan needs to be adjusted for inflation. If your standard of living is $5,000 a month today, it's going to be significantly more just due to inflation 3 to 4 to 5 years from now. And if you're retired, you might have medical issues that come along with that. And so having a written income plan that adjusts for inflation is critical. And it's one of the reasons why a lot of surveys tell us that upwards of 80% of people in America today, now think about that, 80% of people in America today that are retired are concerned about having enough income to support their lifestyle throughout retirement. And so what that tells me is most people don't have a written plan.
And I'll tell you, I'm going to go one step further here, because you guys don't just do a written plan. It's a proprietary. You can only get this at Beacon. It's very detailed. Pete, would you take a minute and talk about the other things that are part of the blueprint?
Well, the blueprint, there's an income plan, a tax plan, a Social Security maximizer. There's a fee report to show people really what they are paying, all those costs that they don't see. There's just so much. There's a portfolio snapshot that shows kind of how are you diversified? Like, how much international exposure do you have right now? Do you have enough? Do you have too much? What about bonds? Too much, too little? How much is in cash, other alternatives? So, and that the yield and dividend and income report is very, very important. And a risk analysis, all these things part of the report that anyone can get. It's free of charge, it's complimentary. There is a little bit of work we have to do on our part, but it's really like a financial x-ray that looks down underneath, that sees what other things don't see to tell you what the truth is, and that's what people need to know, and they need to know it soon.
It's like going to the doc. I've got my general practitioner, but then sometimes I need a specialist. And they do need to take that x-ray out.
They do.
And they do need to look at that knee to say, the following is going on with it, and this is how we fix it. Hey, if you've got things in your portfolio that might need some fixing, give us a call. Let's set up that visit, or go to our website. And don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Welcome to this week's Masters Money Moment. This week we're going to talk about the need for a budget. You know, the Bible has a lot to say about a lot of things financial. In fact, it's one of the things it talks about more than anything, including faith and things of that nature. But the need for a budget goes all the way back to Proverbs. And in Proverbs 27, verse 23, it says, "Be sure to know the conditions of your flocks. Give careful attention to your herds." It's really important, and even God knew that in biblical times, that we have a budget and that our families have a budget. And you know, in our society today, many people don't have budgets, our kids aren't taught the budget, but yet it has a profound impact on our lives, not only in what we're able to do today, but budgeting for saving for the future. And at Beacon, that's something we help all of our client families do, regardless of whether you're retired or you're working towards retirement. A fundamental and foundational budget is really an essential thing that goes all the way back to biblical times. And that's this week's Masters Money Moment.
You're watching Beacon Retirement Strategies, Nashville's retirement television.
Having no clear retirement plan is a mistake I see a lot in my financial planning office when I meet with someone new. It is extremely rare that someone comes in and has a clearly defined income plan for his or her retirement. One way you'll be able to get a clearly defined income plan is to talk to an independent financial advisor who specializes in retirement planning. Not someone who is specialized in getting you to retirement, but someone who is dedicated to getting you through retirement. If you don't have a clear retirement plan, then be one of the first 5 callers and you will receive a free complimentary planning review. There's no obligation, no cost if you have at least $200,000 saved for retirement. Here's what you'll receive: a free report to sort through your current fees, a tailored plan to help protect your investments, a tax analysis to reduce your tax liability and increase your cash flow to your family, and a custom income plan to support your lifestyle. So call now for your free, no obligation Beacon Retirement Blueprint.
This week we're going to be talking about prenuptial agreements in your estate plan. There's a common misconception that prenuptial agreements are used solely to protect assets in the event of a divorce. While protection is the prenup's most commonly known purpose, it is not the only reason engaged couples choose to get one. Prenuptial agreements are a useful tool in estate planning. Couples can list which assets are considered separate property and which are considered marital property. Making this distinction before marriage is crucial to prevent separate assets from being misclassified as marital or joint property when a spouse dies. In particular, those who are entering their second marriage, those who are marrying later in life, or those who have accumulated significant assets may want to use a prenup to preserve their estate for their children from previous relationships, past spouses, or other family members. If you think your estate plan could benefit from a prenuptial agreement, contact a local estate planning attorney for more information. And that's your estate planning tip of the week.
Yeah, so I had the incredible childhood experience of growing up on a dairy farm. There's so many things that I learned from parents who had nothing more than a high school education but saw potential in their son. They always wanted me to go to college and to graduate, never dreaming I'd be able to do the things that I've done, but hard work, integrity, no quit attitude, loyalty, honesty, just all those things that my parents really instilled in me. A couple really quick stories. You know, when I was a 13-year-old kid, I couldn't keep any money in my pocket. I'd spend it. And so my dad told me he was going to teach me to manage money. And I thought, well, how are you going to do that in this little rural country town and a dairy farm? And so my father bought me 100 chickens and made me pay for my own grain and actually harvest the chicken eggs and to wash them and establish my own sales route. And I did that for years and basically ran my own business. And years later, I thought about many of the lessons that I learned on that farm. And I also, in addition to that, had the incredible opportunity of growing up across the street from my grandparents. And so I spent a lot of time on the farm with them. My grandfather, to me, is one of the greatest men that ever lived. He actually had polio when he was a little boy. He's gone now, but his right arm was kind of shriveled up, and he actually farmed it his entire life with one arm, and what he could do with one arm was just incredible. So just learning from them the value of hard work, integrity, honesty are values that when I got a little older, I really began to realize the lessons that they were trying to teach me, and it's impacted my life dramatically.
You're watching Beacon Retirement Strategies, Nashville's retirement television.
Are you worried that your financial strategy is missing something? Today's retirees and pre-retirees will need to utilize the services of a qualified legal and tax team, as well as a financial advisory firm. The professionals at Beacon Capital Management, Beacon Accounting and Tax Services, and Knight Legal are committed to being your comprehensive wealth and retirement planning solution. And here's the best part. All of these services are under one roof. That's right, let Beacon Capital Management effectively coordinate all of your retirement, legal, and tax planning needs. Our unique combination of licenses, registrations, and specialized education qualify us to work with a wide variety of investments. We can create a solution for virtually every retirement scenario, no matter how simple or complex. Call us today and experience the Beacon difference. Imagine all of your investment, tax, and estate planning questions being addressed around a single table. Call now for a complimentary retirement analysis. There's no cost and there's no obligation as long as you have saved at least $200,000 for retirement. Call us now, and remember, at Beacon Capital Management, peace of mind in retirement requires a plan.
You're watching Beacon Retirement Strategies, Nashville's retirement television.
Hey guys, great show this week. Thanks so much for tuning in.
Yeah, and if you'd like more information, give us a call at the office or go to our website.
And remember this, peace of mind in retirement requires a plan.